The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official post-fight review for Mauricio Lara versus Josh Warrington, and really there was not much to review. The fight ends in very anticlimactic fashion. You know, there was a big gash cut above the eye of Mauricio Lara. Mauricio Lara was deemed unable to continue, and the fight ends in a no contest. So a rematch that had been long awaited and long anticipated ends without us getting a winner, and it sets up a third fight. And I really do feel I feel bad for the paying customers and leads that paid money to see this fight, and you know we didn't even get 3 rounds. You know, and it's unfortunate because in the first 2 rounds we were getting some great action from both fighters. And I really think with the way the fight was progressing and building up, that this fight had fight of the year candidate, you know, type of potential. And, you know, it kind of, it sets back Josh Warrington for some time, and it sets back Lara for some time. And it's just really unfortunate. And it really ruins what was a great card. It was probably one of the best matchroom undercards I've seen ever. And, you know, the main event was supposed to be the one that blew the roof off, and it didn't. So it's unfortunate. Now, Eddie Hearn, in the post-fight interview, I did see his post-fight interview, he said that he thinks that Mauricio Lara was looking for a way out, and that's not true. No way. Mauricio Lara wasn't looking for a way out. I think the referee just saw that he had a ridiculous cut, and he thought that it wasn't in his best interest to continue, and the referee made that call. So, you know, if you have a problem with this fight and how it played out, don't get mad at Lara. I don't think he looked for a way out. He was going to fight the next round. Don't get mad at Warrington. Get mad at Steve Gray. Steve Gray made the call. He did his job as a ref. So, you know, if you're doing his job, you know, sometimes you got to take some heat. And, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, for the fighters' sake, it's good that they'll make another payday. But, you know, it's just unfortunate because, you know, a lot of people in leads paid money to go see this fight. And they didn't really see anything in the main event. And it just puts more of a delay. And personally, like, look, I'm sure that if they do a third fight, it'll probably be in England, in the UK. But I really think it should be either in Mexico or on a neutral site, because Mauricio Lara knocked him out the first time, and Mauricio Lara should be afforded the opportunity to fight in his hometown. But obviously that's not going to happen. You know, Eddie Hearn, I never seen no shit like this. Eddie Hearn got Josh Warrington a rematch in his hometown after he got knocked out in his home country. And on top of that, he had a grand entrance. This man looked like he was Anthony Joshua, coming out on these big platforms with fireworks and fire. I haven't seen this much antics and theatrics since I used to watch Booker T back on WWF back when I was a kid. So it was a great atmosphere in Leeds. It's just unfortunate that we got robbed of what was shaping up to be a great fight. But hopefully they can put that to bed early on in the first 3 months of next year, 4 months of next year, so that we can have a winner, you know, so these guys can move on with their careers and get back to progressing their careers, you know. So not much to review, you know, not much to review when it comes to what's his name, Mauricio Lara and Josh Warrington, but that's my little review for that fight. Now I am gonna take this time to review some of the other fights in the card. I'm just gonna do them all in one video because I'm too tired to do other videos right now. Conor Benn, Adrian Granados, that was the fight that I was really excited for, and you know, it was a fight that, as well, you know, wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be, or a lot of people thought it would be, but I still enjoyed it. You know, Adrian Granados is a fighter that has who doesn't have a reputation for being a defensive fighter, and I think tonight he put in a good, you know, veteran performance, and he was making Conor Benn frustrated in there. Conor Benn even admitted it in his post-fight interview. He was frustrated. He was swinging at air. He was missing a lot. But ultimately, he was still doing the more work. He was landing the more punches to the body. And I thought it was a close fight. Believe it or not, I thought it was a close fight. But I had Conor Benn winning 6 rounds to 4. But, you know, I could see 7-3. No more than 7-3. But I thought it was a good performance from Granados. But I think on that note, you know, he might need to hang it up, or, you know, consider hanging it up, because, you know, he don't got, like, I love Adrian, he's my friend, but when, you know, if I'm being honest, like at 147, it's just not his weight. I don't see the point in continuing to fight there unless you want to just stay in it for the money, but I don't think you should just be boxing just strictly for the money. I think that's very dangerous. Once the love is gone, you know, I think that'll get you in trouble. Adrian Granados has nothing to be ashamed of if he does decide to hang up the glove. I think he's had a remarkable career considering, you know, the circumstances that he had to deal with early in his career, and he made a good living for himself. And I feel like he should be ready for life after boxing. But I don't want to see my friend go through no more of this. I think this should be the end of the road. Maybe take a tune-up fight, a farewell fight in Chicago or Mexico against a overmatched opponent, and then call it quits on that. But you know, good veteran performance from Granados, but he just didn't offer enough offensively. He didn't offer enough offensively, and he left a lot to be desired in that department. So that's ultimately where I'm disappointed with him. But you know, Conor Benn, I think he'll get better from this fight. I think he'll show himself to be a better fighter in the future. He'll learn a lot. He will have learned a lot in those 10 rounds. And, you know, good for him. It was a good experience for him. I think, though, this fight did expose where he's at right now, his level. And his level is not on the same level as Jaron Ennis. It's not on the same level as Virgil Ortiz. And when I interviewed Conor Benn, he said the same thing. He said the same thing himself when I interviewed him. So I'm not saying anything that he hasn't said when I interviewed him. But good win for him, you know, moving forward in his boxing career. You know, good to see Conor Benn get some good experience and get in the win column against a good veteran fighter against Granados, and a good veteran performance from Granados. Believe it or not, the fight that I probably wound up enjoying the most was Maxie Hughes versus Giovanni Straffin. You know, Maxie Hughes is fresh off that win against Jonah Carroll, the upset win from last year. And I thought this fight, he fought a tough Mexican fighter, and he just showed, he put on a beautiful exhibition of the sweet science. And he showed himself to be a very, very smart fighter, constantly moving, showing different variations of the jab, setting up the overhand left, right, the overhand left all night long. He had Giovanni Straffin hurt and out on his feet multiple times. And this guy somehow, by the grace of God, was able to survive and continue pressing forward. So he gets a lot of credit for toughness and his willingness to fight. But it was a damn near shutout. Maybe you could give Giovanni Straffin a round at most, but it was a damn near shutout and a masterclass in boxing. So I'm looking forward to seeing Maxie Hughes and where he moves forward in his career. He's improving every time I see him, you know, Maxie Hughes. So shout out to Maxie Hughes. And then you had Katie Taylor fighting Jennifer Hahn, you know, a smaller fighter, former IBF featherweight champion who was a mandatory. It was an easy fight where she just cruised and did whatever she wanted. And I think for Katie Taylor, in the sake of women's boxing, you know, they have to move forward and making this Amanda Serrano fight happen. You know, I've heard Amanda Serrano talk about wanting to unify her division, and you know, so it could be two undisputed champions fighting each other. And I'm like, nah, this is women's boxing. You guys don't get enough eyeballs for you to be marinating fights. So make that fight straight away. I think Katie needs that test at this stage of her career. Amanda needs that test at this stage of her career. You know, they both need and they're longing for that signature fight. So don't waste no time, because the only people you're hurting in that case is yourself. You know, you might lose a fight before then. You might devalue your name and your brand before that fight can happen. So don't waste any time, because you don't know what could happen in the intermediate time while you're waiting for this fight to happen. And that's really it. That's my my little synopsis on the card. One of the better matchroom cards, probably one of the best matchroom undercards I've ever seen, but it was just ruined by anticlimactic finish. So that's my little post-fight review. You guys, let me know what you thought about the fights on the card, from Granados Benn to the fight with Warrington and Lara, to Katie Taylor, to Maxie Hughes, you know, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments down below. You know, make sure you guys hit that like button, take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.